example number 2, avoid making a false prediction. Mr. Kreutz gave an assignment worth 30 marks. After marking the first 5 papers, he was worried that the students did not understand the assignment. He predicted that most of the students would not do well. And this graphic shows that situation. Use Mr. Kreutz's sample of marks to predict the class's average mark. Write the average mark as a percent. So this uses the measures of central tendency, mean, median, and mode. Our central measures of central tendency. So the mean is the technical term for average. You do that by adding the numbers up. So we've got a 20, 15, 18. We also have a 19 and then another 18. So if we add those up, 20 plus 15 plus 18 plus 19 plus 18, that totals 90. And then divide it by the 5 marks. Then we'll see that the average of those 5 is 18, which means the mean is 18. So we've looked at the mean, that's the average. The median is your middle number. So if you write them in order, we've got 15, 18, 18, 19, and 20. Then the middle one is the third one because there's 5, so the median is 18. So it happens to be the same as the mean. And the mode is the number that appears most often. And in this case, it again is also 18. The mode is 18 because it's showing up twice in this list of 5 test numbers. So the mean, median, and mode for this particular sample of 5 tests are all 18. Which, when you take that and calculate what the percentage is on the test, 18 out of 30, multiply it by 100, and you end up with 60%. So based on the mean, median, and the mode from those 5 tests, predicting an average mark of 60%. Now, if there's only 6 or 7 students in the class, maybe that's a reasonable prediction. But if it's a few hundred students in the class, or even a few dozen, then 5 sample tests might not be sufficient. So let's have a look. The scores for all 30 students in the class are listed here. So why did Mr. Kreutz's sample lead him to make a false prediction? We'll look at that. A false prediction is an incorrect prediction. So there was a rationale why that prediction was not valid. So the mean, median, and the mode for all the marks. So the mean, as it turns out, was 21.63. That's the average. The median happened to be 22. And the mode, which number appears most often? Well, let's have a look. 18 shows up 1, 2, only 2 times. 20, 1, 2, 3 times. 15, 1, 2, nope, so 20 so far is the one that's most. 1, 2, 3 for 19. Not 16, not 17. 23, once.
There's 6 for 24.
Is there 6 for 24? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. So that looks like then that 24 is the mode, the number that appears most often. So all 3 of these numbers are significantly higher than 18, especially considering the lowest of these numbers is 21.6. That's almost 4 points higher. If it's on a test that's out of 30, 4 points is about 13%. So that's a huge discrepancy. That puts it closer to 73% instead of 60%. So Mr. Kreutz assumed that the sample of the first 5 papers was representative of the whole class. This is false. The mean score in the sample was 60%. The mean score in the class was 21.63. So 21.63 divided by 30 multiplied by 100 is, 72.1%. Major difference between 60 and 72.1. The mode was 24 out of 30, which works out to be 80%, which is an even bigger discrepancy over the 60% that the mode showed from the sample set. So Mr. Kreutz may have used too small of a sample to make his prediction. The sample does not represent the population. So you have to be careful that your sample is valid to represent the entire group. So it needs to be of sufficient size to start with. Alright, so we've got another show you know, using another variation on Mr. Kreutz. Please go ahead and give it a try.